there's a call for deeper trust. Maybe you can feel it. And rather than it being in trusting in this, trusting in that, it's moreover trusting your whole being, trusting your innate wisdom, trusting yourself. I watched Maleficent the other night. Stick with me. And in the story, when she's very young and she's growing up, in other words, before her wings were stolen, there's a scene where she's flying through the mountains, she's flying through the valleys, she's flying over the land, through the trees, and just weaving through. And the voiceover says, "My wings never failed me." And I really felt into that. My wings never failed me. In other words, they were inbuilt as a part of me. The wings are at the back of the heart, right? So linked to the heart's wisdom, to the innate wisdom. Like the parasympathetic nervous system that just operates. It's not conscious. It's constantly operating in the background from something deep inside of us, from our internal guidance system, which is innate, it's divine, it's God-given, it's there, it exists beyond us. We don't doubt whether we can trust that aspect of ourselves. We don't doubt whether we can trust that we're going to breathe when we go asleep. So it's there and it's functioning for us all of the time. It's an inbuilt system that is beyond the mind, that always functions for us, always has our life force and well-being, best interests, if you like, at heart. So the wings were an aspect of us where our divine intelligence is running, okay? Someone stole her wings and it broke that innate connection to self. And then she went into the shadow, right? It made me think about the reflection I received around trust from the medicine, which is actually from the Kambo medicine, the sacred medicine of the frog. And the last time I did a Vax about 18 months ago, which is 3 sessions in 3 days, I had a very profound experience and drop, wisdom, integration. After those sessions about trust being the sacred reciprocity of life. The energy of trust is the sacred reciprocity that comes from us. So the way it was shown to me there was, for anyone who's ever done any plant medicine, you may be able to resonate with this. When we make a decision to sit with a medicine, to sit with a plant medicine, part of that decision includes an element of trust. In other words, if we decide that we're going to do it, we decide it's for us, we decide we're going to go into that experience, then we're acknowledging that we're in a relationship with that medicine. We are acknowledging that the medicine can give us something that we're looking for, okay? Can meet us halfway. So there's a surrender there. There's an innate trust within the decision to enter into that relationship. If we then go into the medicine space and we lack trust, we start resisting it, and we don't surrender, and we don't fully allow ourselves to trust in the moment, we don't get as much from the medicine. The energy that allows us to receive from the medicine is trusting. Trusting that it has our best interest, trusting that we're safe, trusting that it works, trusting the magic. If we don't believe in magic, we're never going to see magic. So the energy that allows us to receive, that allows medicine to work, that allows magic to alchemize, is trust. Because when I was shown this with from the frog, I was feeling into everything I'd received from the frog, and I was like, wow, you know, this is so beautiful. And I basically asked the medicine, what is the sacred reciprocity here? Because all life is an exchange, it's a relationship. And Spirit told me it's your trust. That's what humans give to allow Spirit to deliver. That's our part of the deal, if you like. So that was one kind of initiation into trust. If you don't trust what you're doing, if you don't trust that it works, then it won't work. If you don't trust what your body's telling you and you don't listen to that, then you can't live by the guidance that Spirit is attempting, constantly downloading to your system as your divine support. As women, we have neglected our relationship with our body, in the sense that we've been so conditioned that there's something innately wrong with our inner guidance system. In other words, we can't trust it. We've been convinced that we can't trust our own body. We've been convinced that we don't know what's best for us. We've been convinced that something else outside of us has the correct authority. So when we come to this path and we come to leaning deeper into our practice, we come to manifestation, there's several different spaces where we come up against this issue of trust. And we know that we don't trust because we've got a million yeah buts about everything. Or we desire something and we put it out to the universe, and then we spend a lot of time blocking it by questioning how it's going to happen, because we don't trust. We think we've got to do everything. We're not trusting that the divine, the universe, the infinite source of potential can deliver. So we start constructing ways that it could happen, and we're essentially blocking that. So all these different ways that we don't trust. We don't trust ourselves in relationships. We take other people's advice over our own and then go around a full experience to find out that we were right in the first place. So there's many different ways that this lack, it all comes from lack. We're carrying this energy of lack, and it's not just about external things. It's about a lack of innate trust in self. And what's been coming through really, really strong in the last few days is that it's a piece around design. And can we reframe it or pan out maybe to a deeper or higher perspective and a higher truth that our bodies are designed for this. Not just this life that we've always had in terms of survival and struggle, Our body, we designed ourselves to house the new consciousness. We designed ourselves to come online and to hold our soul frequency as it is ready to come through. We designed ourselves to be supersonic. We have all of the technology within us to fulfill our full potential, to be superhuman, to be the next level human. Anything that our minds question and think, am I capable of that? That's too big for me to cope with. How am I going to do that? I can't see a way. All this stuff that our mind creates to put in the way of our vision and what we see is possible for ourselves. Can we trust that our body, our intelligence that chose this body to house your soul, your body was designed for you. You chose the body that you are in. You chose and designed your vessel uniquely and perfectly for what your soul wished to experience. Your body is the ultimate piece of kit. It's the ultimate technology. It's already there. You designed yourself for this. And for everything that you're stepping into, the fullness of you, not what you've always been, but you designed yourself for the fullness of your capacity, for the fullness of your true potential. Can you believe that? Can you receive that into your body and play with that? Notice the areas where you're like, oof, how? Like, is that possible? You know, notice the areas of resistance, but just invite it, run it through your system as a concept. I designed myself for this. My body's intelligence knows me better than anybody. Your body knows you better than anybody. It knows you knows what you desire before you think about it. It's the one telling you. So where is the break in trust for that? Can your inner knowing come up and over all of the conditioning that has broken that trust with the bare fact that you're capable of anything and you have chosen that? It's already there. Everything you need is already there. You're just remembering it. You're putting back in place the original template, which will allow you to step forward with ease, to step forward without doubt, fear, judgment, shame, guilt, blame. They're all the old stuff that weighs us down, and once that's gone, it's only the truth that remains. So it's up to us, as we are consciousness, as conscious beings that are becoming conscious of ourselves, to consciously dismantle anywhere that our mind is telling us a lie. If we're doubting ourselves, then somewhere in our mind, there's a belief that isn't in alignment with your divine nature. If you're petrified of being seen, being heard, and moving forward, there's energy there that is not in alignment with the divine nature. Once we move that out of the way, can you allow yourself to believe that that's possible? Believe that that can be easeful? And believe that you have the dignity, which is the self-worth as well. You know, calling that energy into the body, calling the energy of true values and truth into the body. Just invite that frequency in and just allow that to settle and show you any areas that you are not in your truth, through doubting yourself, through questioning yourself, through criticizing yourself. Trust is a very deep thing, and we're not trusting anything outside of ourselves, because we are the microcosm of all. Within us, the whole universe is contained. And we were designed for this, to overcome, to rise. So if you feel called, share what your trust journey is or has been. What are the areas that you find it most difficult to surrender to a really deep trust? And it moves past that. It's almost like this really deep faith, the type of faith that we have in the sun rising, the type of faith that we have that when we put our foot on the earth, we're supported. We know that it's there. We don't think it's going to disappear every 5 minutes. That type of trust is a very deep faith. There's no thought. So feel into what parts of yourself do not allow that. And they are just trying to keep you safe. But again, it's like the consciousness of our own self to come in with the higher witness, the higher perspective, the more loving eyes. We're now looking at everything with new eyes. And that may be as well why a lot of us have been asked to look again at stuff that we thought we'd dealt with, stuff that is really old or deep, stuff from the past. You know, I thought I'd done this. I thought I'd got over this. But it's just where there's imprints. There's a remnant of energy. There's a core wound imprint that's left, and you may have dealt with it on many levels from many different angles, but there's still just that core frequency that wants to be consciously alchemized through the love of your witness, through you looking at yourself with new eyes, you know, eyes that project the frequency of acceptance and compassion for self. You know, that's different to what we've always done. We've always come with the old energies to the problem. We come with fear, we come with judgment, we come with blame, and all these ways that we bypass ourselves, speak to ourselves in our minds. It's not very kind. It's old energy. It's the punisher frequency. Until we change that for ourselves and within ourselves, nothing will change. Nothing's coming in from the outside. It's all you. It's all you. I'm going to share a process on another video. I feel it's been coming to me a few times this week, or a practice rather, that just in a structured, intentional way, you can call back your energy. Not just in the moment if you've been having a negative conversation or you feel overwhelmed and stressed or you've been around too many people. Yes, then as well, in the moment. But as a practice of personal empowerment as well. Because every time we witness or become aware of one of these areas where we have lack, a lack of faith, a lack of trust, a lack of love, a lack of acceptance, whatever the lack is, it doesn't matter. It's the same energy. It's like something inside of us that we feel is missing. You know, when we become aware that we're working with these spaces which are beyond the mind and we can't see them and they can be a bit confusing and overwhelming, that's just the mind. It doesn't know what to do with it. It can't control it. So just drop into the body. Drop the mind and the energy that's up here and everything that's going on, the expectations, the questions, just breathe it all in and bring it down into the body, bring it down into the heart. And just allow yourself to feel the tension that exists there, which is the block to trust. It's the thing that's popping up anytime you do need to trust yourself. surrender a bit more to what is. We can't change what is. We can only change ourselves in response to that. So you can ask. There's a lot of power in conscious communication with spirit. Even if you don't receive any answers straight away, or you feel like you're talking to yourself, you're not. That's, again, it's just the mind. You can breathe it into the body and call in the frequency, invite in the spirit of trust, the frequency of trust, the frequency of faith. Show me how I can start to listen to my innate guidance. Show me how I can start to reconnect to that core compass. You know, a lot of us women, it's coming through now that a lot of women are very disconnected in different ways, on different levels, from the wisdom of the body. It's like our consciousness is here, all in the head, and we're driving things forward, and we're just dragging the body with us. We think we know better all the time, but we don't. The wisdom of the body is everything, and the body is the vessel that you chose. It's the only way that you get to experience this life. You're a tuning fork. You're the interface between all of the forces of the universe. Your body, which contains all the forces of the universe. Your universe and the earth made manifest. Electromagnetic force field between the earth and the sun, the heavens. The light just... That's an incredibly powerful technology that we are. And our intelligence, our consciousness resides within this miracle that is the body. So drop deeper into her. Make more physical connection mindfully. Ask her questions and sit in stillness and listen, feel, sense for how an answer comes. Does it come through a sensation? Does it come through the physical, the emotional, the mental? Does it come through a message in your experience 2 days later? Does it come through an animal guide or another person? It can come in any way, because we live in the language of symbols is the universal, it's spirit's language. So go beyond your mind, come into your body, and learn to trust the divine instrument that your soul chose to carry you through this beautiful life, where when you become so conscious and aware of who and what you are in that way, in that context, you start to really receive the truth and own the responsibility that you are here to create a life by design beyond your wildest dreams. Trust your beautiful body. Love her a bit more. And I love you. Until next time.